anything on my side.
It's just loading, man. Just be patient. There we go. We're up and running. All right. Episode 2.
What up?
NYJ today. Jets fans, we are happy you are here. If you are here,
Popping bottles.
Yep. Happy Wednesday night to you.
I got a little preview of the behind the scenes production
Yeah.
that happens.
So yeah, we do apologize. We're starting a couple minutes late. There were some technical things that we are still working out, but we are working through them steadily. So anyway, right to the video, right to the stream. We just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you are live with us right now, thank you so much. We would love it if we could hear from you in the chat. So please hit the chat. Please just mute it.
Yep.
Just let us know what you guys want to talk about. We are interested in hearing what you guys think is an important topic to discuss. We have our own set of topics that we'll run through if we don't hear from anybody. But basically tonight, we would like to do a little bit of both. So again, hit us in the chat, and we will try to hit your comment. We do have it on the screen right now. So we will notice it if you message us.
I do have a first question for you before we get into topics or anything like that. So, John's been the Sherpa when it comes to the channel. Obviously, putting out about 6 to 8 videos.
I've been grinding the last 4 or 5 days.
You guys or gals already know that this is all new to us, a new world to some extent. And so whether we got 1 view or 100 views or 400 views in John's case.
We're tickled pink over here.
Yeah, and
we really appreciate
because we would do this shit if it was just us. So having you guys here is just an added bonus.
Exactly.
But Sherpa-ing, if that's a word, for the last week, the 5 days that the channel's been alive, and put out my first video today. I think that
comment.
Oh, Just Talk 24/7.
What's up, bro?
Hey.
Dude, Ryan, we love your channel, dude.
Absolutely, man. Cheers to you.
Appreciate the support from you. That really means a lot. So yeah, we're just going to get started. Off-season cuts.
Off-season cuts.
I'm going to give you a candidate, and if you have a candidate, I would love to hear from you. My number 1 candidate to be cut this off-season has to be Henry Anderson. This was a Mike McCagnon re-sign that is absolutely a fail. He has done nothing since he re-signed. And we save, I think it's like $8 million, upwards of $8 million to the cap.
No,
well,
absolutely.
When you consider we're the number 2 in cap space currently, one more cut with $8 million savings, you're just adding more money to your
100%.
bank. So I feel like by cutting him, you're doing a couple of things. Number 1, you're getting rid of a player that doesn't fit the scheme that we're about to run.
Oh,
he's a 3-4 defensive end through and through. Mm-hmm. He is not a 4-3 defensive end, and he's certainly not a 4-3 defensive tackle. So you're getting rid of him. So that's a cut that's going to happen, I think. Like, I would say I'd be willing to bet my left nut that that's going to happen. So Henry Anderson is my number 1 cut. We get rid of somebody who's not a scheme fit, and we're saving about $8 million.
Oh.
Do you have anybody off the top of your head?
Well, I actually started, when I first put the list together, and I just was like, what are the 6 names that pop up to me? Obviously, the first one is Frank Gore and Joe Flacco. They were at the top of my list, only for the fact that there's other talent for those positions. Yes. Well, one, Frank Gore's our starting running back at the age of how old?
Yep. Yeah,
almost 40.
I think he's 37.
Yeah,
36, 37. So.
So I started really simply with that. Joe Flacco, I think, even as a backup, is not the right person for that role, especially with Sam. I mean, usually you like to see teams pair your rookie quarterback, or I know Sam's not a rookie, but somewhat young quarterback.
We might have a rookie on the team. There's a possibility.
Hey, we'll get to that, right? But what was Sam going to really learn from Joe Flacco? I mean,
I don't think Joe Flacco was even willing to speak to Sam Darnold. Yeah. He just doesn't give a shit about Sam Darnold.
So those are 2 that come off my list first. High on my list was Connor McGovern. I thought he was high on my list.
I don't see that one. I will disagree with you. So he's still got 2 years left on his deal, and he was struggling bad the first half of the season, pretty bad. But I think it just took some time for him to gel with the people he was playing next to.
Right.
I think we're getting at worst case average center play, but I think more the higher expectation or the better expectation would be is that he's going to be at least above average center play. Yeah. He's not a great player, but I don't think you're You're not going to be able to replace him with someone better, I don't think.
Well, he definitely looked better than what the Ravens had on what was it, 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago
with the snap or something.
Yeah, when the guy at the center for the Ravens was snapping all over the place.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, I mean, poor Lamar had to was doing all kinds of one-handed catches on that.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Well, here's a name. This is my wild card name for you.
Okay.
Herndon.
Interesting. Okay, so that is interesting. So I would not guess that, but I could see it. I could absolutely see it because
disappointing. I mean, you gotta admit it.
Listen,
you're a Jets fan. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah,
you hear me.
Listen, disappointing.
Doesn't we got a comment. We got.
All right, well, what did I say?
Cut Van Roten.
Yes, Van Roten will be cut. I would say so for sure. And I'm gonna throw a couple out there. I still have a couple up my sleeve.
Before we get to that chat, I do want to hear the rest of what you had on Herndon. Because
do you agree about Van Roten? No, we should address that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I feel like I would simply say yes, he needs to be cut. We need better guard play. So what's the person's name?
Jonathan 122469.
So Jonathan agreed. Van Roten is not necessarily an aging player, but he's not young either. And you can easily replace his below average inside lineman play. I would absolutely agree. Cut Van Roten, get a draft pick to replace him, or you sign a couple people as well. So, all right, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I absolutely agree with your comments. I really don't have that much to add. I mean, there's other talent that's out there, both in the draft, obviously, as well as if we were going to pick something up off of free agency. So it's, especially this time of year, I feel like, so don't get us started on the draft because the draft used to be even much more special before the Goodell era. But
oh my God, I love those days. So if you don't know what he's talking about, the draft used to be held on a Saturday, and it fucking rocked. Saturday drafts were the best because you could get drunk. You could watch the draft with your friends.
Hell yeah.
And you had Sunday off. You could get up and you could just have your day and it was all good. Thursday night drafts blow. Anyway, continue.
So there's, this is such an exciting time because all the options are on your table right now. And you really, to not want to not trim the fat, so to speak. It's just, that's an easy choice to me. So I really don't have a lot to say other than that.
Yeah, Van Roten should be cut. Absolutely. Yeah. You were talking about Herndon, and then you started saying.
Well, I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because he popped up. I had him definitely down as a wild card. It had an awesome camp. I think a lot of excitement, especially
good rookie year.
Especially when you look at the team, and some would say, I'll go out on a limb that, and this is one of the topics that we'll get into later, but I would say that the Kotite era team was more talented across the board.
Don't start that one. That's all the way. That's literally the third to last segment.
I'm not jumping again. I'm just saying. We have a comment there.
All right, we'll get to it after you finish.
But what I'm saying is that the talent right now on the team is pretty. It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah, it's bad. So, it's a bad football team.
Anything you bring into the team, I think is a good idea.
Go ahead and
comment from Jonathan. Thanks, Jonathan, for.
Yeah, thank you for commenting, Jonathan.
Who are your top free agent targets? That's a good one. You go first.
I just want to make sure we're clear here. I want to finish the cuts, and I can do that very quickly. Herndon, I think, is on thin ice. Mm-hmm. I think we know Henry Anderson's going to get cut. The other one that I want to mention is Alex Lewis. So very similar to Greg Van Roten, like Jonathan had mentioned. Yep. I think that you're definitely looking at Alex Lewis getting cut. The contract does not penalize us for cutting him early. He's signed a 3-year deal, but it's not one of those deals where we're in a position where we have a huge cap hit by cutting him. So let's hit Jonathan. You're talking about free agents. I have my top free agent, Jonathan. I'm ready. I'm gonna let Mike go.
Well, let's go. Let's alternate. So you throw out the first one.
Jonathan, put your list in there. We will not read it until
top three.
Top three is good. Okay, cool. Top three, and we will review.
You're gonna kick it off.
All right. So first of all, if we have to assume that these players are going to make it to free agency, we don't know if they're actually going to make it.
Absolutely.
So my number one target, if he becomes available, and assuming that the Jets are either going to keep Darnold, trade for Deshaun Watson, or draft a quarterback at number 2, I think we need to strongly consider signing Allen Robinson, wide receiver from the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars before that.
I like it.
So The only thing that worries me with a little bit with Allen Robinson is he's a little bit similar in game to Denzel Mims. They are both physical receivers. They go up for the ball, which isn't a bad thing, but we wouldn't really have a speed guy.
Right.
So that's the only thing that makes me a little bit worried with Allen, but he's still super good. Only 28 years old.
Yep. I'm right there with you. I'll go next. Chris Godwin.
Yes.
For sure.
He was on my list, too. Yes.
Hey!
Oh, what's our clap?
Oh, yeah, we got one about that.
How about a fist bump?
Fist bump. Okay. Got it.
We're Chris Godwin. Why do you love him?
Oh, I mean, I would, obviously coming in, and I had Chris Godwin on my fantasy team, so, hey. Hashtag bias. But, I think, regardless of his activity this year versus last year, the guy can make it happen. He's made some pretty awesome catches when he has been in. He has been in many games.
He's really good.
He's in the Super Bowl, so there's that. Let's just get back to that. And I think when they signed AB, that wasn't a reflection of Godwin. It's
correct.
I think it was just a tough health year for him. But plenty of gas in the tank. Has decent size, not the tallest receiver that's out there.
The Bucs knew what they were doing when they signed him too. They knew they were on their way to the Super Bowl, or at least going to be on a run for Super Bowl. So they signed AB just to stack the box.
They knew where they were going. And when you look at that team, this isn't a Tampa Bay channel, but what I'm saying is when you look at that team, I would have made the same choice because it wasn't like they didn't have the firepower to go. So.
I agree. So actually, Chris Godwin.
We got Jonathan has his picks in there.
He can do one. Go ahead and read one of them, not all of them. We'll do one at a time, just like we did.
Yeah, I like that. He has his first is Allen Robinson.
Yep, Allen Robinson's my first. I would agree. You kind of consider at least bringing him in. That would be pretty awesome. So for me, another guy that a lot of people are talking about, and it's not really a big surprise or anything like that, but Joe Thuney from the New England Patriots guard. If we can get Joe Thuney or Thuney or however the hell you want to say it, if you can line him up next to Mekhi Becton, and then you've got a for real left side. You've got Mekhi Becton, you've got Joe Thuney, and you've got Connor McGovern in the center, which we know he's not an all-star, but he's at least
Penei
above.
Sewell.
Oh my God! So that would be a little bit over the top.
Mount Everest.
We are going to talk about that as well.
I know.
So yeah, I'm going Joe Thuney as definitely my number 2 or number 3 target. I would say probably Chris Godwin's my number 1 target. If he's not available, Allen Robinson. And then if we are able to grab one of those guys, Joe Thuney would be fantastic. You got anybody else?
I got one.
How about Dak Prescott?
Oh, I was going to say that!
Yep, I knew you were. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I think that's a really interesting conversation, Jets fans. Wanting to hear from you guys that are out there right now. And I'm just going to chime in for Jonathan. He's got Godwin, all right? He's got Brandon Scherf, and he's got Galladay.
Oh, I love Galladay. Yeah, Galladay and Mims and Crowder would be an awesome thing. All right, go ahead. Yeah, tell me about Prescott.
But that is an interesting conversation, guys. I think that let's just play. Let's go nuclear, dude. Let's go. Let's say we obviously fucked up on Trevor. So, Jags, good for you. Happy birthday.
Yep. Congratulations.
Right? And let's say we don't feel comfortable with Justin Fields due to inconsistency. And let's say I never watched your Zach Wilson video. That's a hint. Go watch that video. I think that what you could be left with is obviously free agency and who's at the top of that list, but Dak, and I get that injury was nasty. I mean, that's up there with the Joe Theismann.
Not a career ender though. He'll be.
It's up there in terms of how it looked with Leon Washington and
he's quarterback though. I guess he's a mobile guy though, so that does take away from him a little bit.
But didn't really want to be though. He was transitioning out. At least that's my opinion.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
So and hence perfect segue. You're a professional. Perfect segue, and I think that's a serious conversation.
I think it might be.
He's used to a big market. Dallas, Texas is a big market. New York's a big market. He's a great leader. I mean, everyone, as soon as that injury happened, the first thing all the news outlets said.
The whole NFL was doing
it. They said that they lost a true leader.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say,
something to look out for.
I think it could be a fit that's out there. It could be a diamond in the rough, so to speak.
I do not disagree.
What a more perfect, what would that be? A metaphor?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that one, but it doesn't matter. I get what you're saying because you're talking about Dak Prescott, and here's the thing: you're improving a quarterback, and you're not having to trade for one or draft one.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Johnson's in it. Johnson's on it, man. The Saints are going to have to cut some good players.
They definitely are. Over
They're
100. They are over 100 million over the cap.
Ooh.
I read that last night and I nearly shit myself. Over 100 million over the cap.
They went for the head. You know, they went for everything they got because they knew they were losing Breeze anyway.
Yes.
So you had to.
Yep.
Because they're not going to get there with old number 2.
Marshawn Lattimore is a guy I would love to get. They're not going to cut him. They're going to cut other people before they cut him. But I would be all over Marshawn Lattimore if he becomes available. I just want to revisit your Dak thing.
Yeah, you didn't give me your thoughts.
Well, I did a little bit. You don't have to trade for a quarterback. You don't have to draft one. So that right there, and you're upgrading at quarterback. As long as his health checks out, and they will do that analysis, I'm sure when it comes time. Dak Prescott is an interesting choice, and I think that it should be talked about more on the internet than it actually is.
Oh, 100%.
And the rumor is they're not going to be able to make room for him. I don't know that for certainty, but I don't think they're going to be able to franchise tag him or re-sign him. They just don't have the money. Like most teams in the NFL right now, they're all broke.
Is he anticipated to come back for the 21 season?
Yeah, I think he is. I think it was supposed to be a full recovery. So
yeah, Jonathan, I'd love to hear your thoughts and others that are out there, but. Yeah, I think I agree with you 100%. I don't think there's enough. I don't think I've heard anyone really talk about that, to be honest with you.
Nope, it's not on the internet, and I think I might even consider making a video on it.
And I will also say, and I'm proud of us on this, is that you heard it here on NYJ today, is that I don't think I've seen anywhere other than me and you thought the same, and I'll say I was second to you, is that Robert Saleh looks like Xerxes from 300. You heard it here on NYJ today. So when they play that crap on ESPN or wherever else, I want you to know you just saw it here.
Do a quick Google search, 300 bad guy, and you'll find Xerxes.
It's Robert Saleh, and he's 8 feet tall.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we've talked about the offseason cuts. We hit Jonathan's topic of free agency.
Pause real quick, Jonathan's before we leave the Prescott. Jonathan, you know you can let me know what you think. I don't want to get it wrong, but I think what Jonathan's saying is, you know,
just read it. Just read what he said.
Is Prescott worth $40 million a year? Jonathan says he wants $40 million.
All right, so here's the thing, Jonathan. With the $40 million on Dak Prescott, I don't actually think any team is going to, with cap space, because remember the cap is down this year due to the pandemic. So who's going to have $40 million to spend? There's nobody out there that's going to be willing to spend that money. The Jacksonville Jaguars are drafting Trevor Lawrence. They're going to take a quarterback. They're going to take Trevor Lawrence, and they're the number 1 team for cap space. The reason why it's so intriguing for the Jets is because they make sense. They need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, the Dolphins. I don't see the Dolphins taking a quarterback at 3. I don't see them signing Dak Prescott because they have Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also don't see Miami getting Deshaun, by the way.
I don't think so either. I think that would be surprising.
They're gonna go back on the picks that they already gave.
I feel like they should build around Tua. I feel like people talking about that on air. I think it's crazy to give up on him that quickly. He didn't look bad last year.
I wasn't the biggest Tua fan, so
right,
don't take my lack of excitement as anything against Tua. But yeah, I mean, I don't see why you would bail on that already.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they would probably say the same thing about us and Sam, but hey,
it's a little
screw
different.
you.
A little bit different. All right, so let's get to our next segment.
Jonathan, Jonathan watched your video, man. I'd rather trade for Deshaun.
Oh, I'm 100% on that. Jonathan, there's no doubt. I made a video about Zach Wilson, but believe and trust, I want Deshaun Watson. That's my number 1 preferred option at quarterback this offseason. Number 1 pick this year. You give him the number 2 overall pick. And some people are saying don't give them both firsts this year. Fuck that. We're going to have to give away both those firsts. So number 1 this year, and give them one of the number 1 picks next year. And let's roll.
And Sam. You know they're getting Sam.
I don't think they would.
I think they would, man. Why wouldn't you? They could get anything they want.
I don't think they would want Sam. I think they're going to want to draft their own guy. That's what's going to happen. They're getting rid of
But
Deshaun.
if you got Sam for free, I know he's not free, but let's just say in the comparison, in the relativity of how big that pick is.
But again, if they're picking a quarterback, why would they even want Sam? He's just like a distraction.
Hey, just put him in there with the competition.
I hear what you're saying.
Hedge your bets.
I don't think so. What were we talking about? I'm a little sidetracked there.
Well, you were about to move to the next topic, but I appreciate it, Jonathan. That's a good
Jonathan,
question.
you're kicking ass. Thank you so much. I know I've seen you in the comments. Please keep watching. We are not stopping. This is week 1 of NYJ. I think we're NYJ today. We're only on like the 8th day of our channel's existence.
All right. Jonathan's like, they don't want Sam, and that I can see that.
That's what I said. They do not want Sam.
You didn't say that.
I 100% said they don't want Sam. Let's get to the next topic. We probably won't need to discuss this very long. Let's just assume in the vacuum of the world, Deshaun Watson is not available for trade. The Houston Texans mend those wounds and they are able to keep him. So he's not available.
Yep.
Let's say Dak Prescott, the Jets aren't interested just for whatever reason.
Right.
So they're going to move then. They're going to shift gears and they're going to go to the draft for quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe keep Sam Darnold. But in this circumstance, let's talk about them potentially needing a quarterback at number 2 overall.
Right.
I think that they will end up taking Zach Wilson at number 2 overall if they do not trade for Deshaun Watson and if they are not interested in Dak. I don't know what the interest level is going to be on Dak. I know I would be interested, but I don't know what Joe Douglas is going to want to do. Personally, if we're at number 2 and we haven't traded it for Deshaun Watson, I imagine that they're going to trade Sam Darnold. That's what I think is going to happen. Not what I want to happen, just what I think will happen. And then I think at number 2 overall, you're picking Zach Wilson, you're picking the upside, you're picking the arm strength, you're picking the scheme fit. And I just think that they would roll with that. They'll use their picks. They'll take a quarterback at 2. They'll use the 23 pick to build around him. They'll use their 2nd and 3rd rounders to build up the defense, maybe get some cornerbacks, some edge rushers. That's how I see it playing out. You see it playing out differently at number 2, though, which I think is ridiculous. It's not going to happen, but go ahead and talk about it.
I would say, because I gotta admit, when I was thinking about that free agency question, I don't think Dak really entered my mind that much. So I'll call myself out on that. And
same here.
I would say before that question from Jonathan, in terms of top free agents, I would have said my pick would have been Penei Sewell. I would have been with Penei Sewell. I know left tackle.
Left tackle out of Oregon. If you're not sure who he is,
but
go ahead.
Just finished his sophomore year coming out of Oregon.
So
coming into the draft, real young, explosive, without a doubt. I mean,
I know
accolades across the board. Yep. The physicality of him, 6'6", 325 pounds, and I'm sure he's going to run a fucking crazy 40.
Yep, that's what they all do. All those top pick offensive linemen, they all do.
I can't wait to see Rich Eisen shit on
smoked
again.
by the offensive lineman.
But he could play any position on that line.
Not any position,
except for center.
He could play left and right tackle. I think. I don't think you put him at guard. There's no way you put him inside.
You put that there. You put
right
him
tackle.
in there.
I hear what you're saying.
You talked about this. You're back with the Mangold, Brickishaw, Faneca line of when they were in their prime, and that's really attractive to me, especially with Dak out there. And so really the conversation comes down to we could make that work cap wise.
Oh, there's no cap. 100%. There would be no cap issue because the number 2 pick overall doesn't matter what position.
So when I package it that way to you, Jonathan, that goes out to you, others as well. If I say,
our listeners, yep.
Rather than just comparing Zach Wilson and Dak, what if I say this? You could get Penei Sewell with Becton, with McGovern, and you can get Dak Prescott. So when we're talking about rebuilding, right? So what I just told myself in terms of dieting, I'm on a new diet, right? You know what I told myself? And I told Elizabeth this. You know what I told myself? I said, I got frustrated. I was like, you know what? The only thought that comes to my mind is, let's stop fucking around.
Let's just get this done.
Are we going to rebuild? Then let's rebuild. And what better way to do that by building up the line and putting what would have been a top, I don't know, not top 5, but let's just say top 10 quarterback. Top 10 quarterback. You're getting both. You're killing 2 birds, 1 stone.
Statistically, last season before he got hurt, he was on a MVP level.
Skip was all over his balls.
Yeah. Well. All right, so one thing I will give you credit for the Penei Sewell thing, and I still don't think it's gonna happen. But
why do you say that though?
Because so here's the problem. What would wind up happening if we draft Penei Sewell is that we would either be keeping Becton at left tackle, and then putting Penei Sewell at right tackle, which I don't think he would be bad at, but he's being drafted to play left tackle. And so what could happen is we wind up drafting Penei Sewell at 2, moving him to left tackle, and then pushing Becton to the right side. I don't really love that idea. So that makes me a little bit worried.
You lose either way, but I would agree. My preference would be to keep Becton at left.
That's not really my main concern. Now. My main concern is you're drafting a right tackle at number 2. That's my main concern.
But we talked about that. There's not a lot of talent. You take Zach Wilson and you take Penei out of it. I don't want it. For sure not.
Right. You mean trading out?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let me finish my point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to give you credit. The one thing that the Penei Sewell pick would do would be it would jumpstart our running game. Mm-hmm. And so the Shanahan offense is built on 2 basic principles. It's built on the run and establishing the run, and then using it to build on the play action deep ball passing.
Right.
So that part of it would be huge because Penei would help with that. He would help with the running game and establishing it quickly and early. We wouldn't have to hand it off 10 times to get a good run going. Like we would be able to get running game going pretty quickly in games. And that's going to help you to score more points quickly. It's going to help you to get the play action going and protect the quarterback. So I give you all the props on that. I just don't think that we are in the position to draft a right tackle now where we are currently at number 2 overall. That's how I see it.
That's valid. I mean, that's a big reach, for sure. So, I think that's a really interesting conversation and something that impacts how we react in the draft. For sure.
Let's ask, because we haven't in the chat. I know, Jonathan, you're pretty much the only one in here, and that's okay. Jonathan, or anybody in the chat, if the Jets do not sign Dak Prescott, if they do not trade for Deshaun Watson, what are you doing at number 2 overall? Are you drafting a quarterback? Are you drafting a different position? Or are you trading back? And we would like to hear from you. If you do not catch this live, I want you in the comments after this is done streaming. I want to hear from you in the comments section after this live stream is over. So you're not off the hook.
Jonathan's chimed in. He says, "What do you think about Harris at 23rd at the 23rd pick?"
Harris. Now, I would like the full name because
sorry. I don't want to butcher it. Najee.
Oh, Najee.
Sorry.
Jonathan, my man. So I'll say this: it depends on what we do at number 2 overall. If we have traded for Deshaun Watson and we're able to keep that pick for some reason, which I don't think we would be able to. If we trade for Deshaun Watson and we have that pick,
we got to know the comment.
All right, hold on. Just hang tight. If we do keep that pick and we have Deshaun Watson, hell yeah, let's get a running back in here and let's start scoring points. That would be sick. But I'll be honest with you, Joe Douglas, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to use a first-round pick on a running back. I know a lot of fans out there really would love that, and I would be one of those people. But I don't see that happening. I don't think he's going to use a first-rounder. If Najee Harris is available at the 2nd round in the 34th overall pick, I'm running the card up myself. I'm running it up myself. I will go to wherever the fuck they're having this draft, and I will do it myself because that would be a home run. Home run.
Leaps and bounds over fucking Frank Gore.
We would have an official offense, assuming we had traded for a quarterback or signed one.
What if we got Dak and Najee? I would be all right with that.
Yeah, again, either scenario is fine. I would love Najee Harris. Again, if we don't have a quarterback, though, it's kind of a waste. And that's kind of why I'm saying, like...
I just want to say that I think we're... This think tank that we have going on, I wish we had Joe's number.
Oh.
The reason I burst out laughing, let me just say this. We have a new comment from CPS617NYJ. Sign Geno Smith. Good old Geno.
We need comments like that to keep us laughing. He
followed it up with another Jet legend. Find out if Tim Tebow is available.
Oh, baby. There are videos online of him throwing the ball in practice, and it just comes off of his hand and dies instantly.
You know what our favorite Tim Tebow clip was?
Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the laugh.
Yeah, thank you. My favorite Tim Tebow, I guess, on-field performance or scenario was a clip that me and you found when he was at Florida. And if you recall, it was when he was in the red zone, and he would go, "Let's go, Big nuts run here.
Oh, Tebow, yeah. So he was in high school or college. I think it was
Florida. He was in Florida.
Was it Florida?
Yeah, he was in Florida.
I think it was high school, but we won't argue about that. But anyway, you are correct. He gets in the huddle and he says, "Big nuts right here. Big nuts right here. I will not be stopped." Tebow was a literal linebacker playing quarterback.
Yeah, and John knows this. If I'm gonna throw another Jet has-been out there for you, which is Vinny, Old Testaverde. I'll just go on the record.
Stop.
Big fan of Vinny.
Just stop yourself from talking.
Jonathan 122469 chimes in again. He says, "We're getting Deshaun. Speak it into existence."
That is what I want to hear, Jonathan.
Yes.
Jonathan, I agree with you. I do think it actually is on the. It's the potential of it happening is very high. I'm actually gonna switch gears here because we are going to get a little fucking crazy. So, first things first, we are switching segment to segment 3 right now, and we are gonna have a debate. So, if you didn't know, segment 3, and actually, I'm sorry, episode 2 of this podcast is called "Who You Got," and so in this segment, we are going to be debating who the worst head coach of the New York Jets is in franchise history. So, as you can see, my friend Mike, he is no longer Mike, and I am no longer
Hi, guys.
John.
I'm tripping real hard right now.
There's a lot of fucking cameras in my face, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. All right, so this segment is going to be a little bit ridiculous, and we will not do it for long, I promise you. But I think it's hilarious, and we're going to do it. So, who would like to go first?
I'll go first. So
wait. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go.
So the
give
ground,
the setting.
The ground rules here are: so we are ourselves. I'm Rich Kotite. He is Adam Gase. We are selling why we are the worst head coach, as if it were a prize.
Go. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm going to tell you why, Rich, that you're the worst coach.
No, you're telling me why you're the worst
Oh, I'm
coach.
sorry. I'm prepared either way. Thank you. Hi, guys. Adam Gase here. Hope you like acid as much as I do. And I'm going to tell you today why I will go down as the worst New York Jets head coach in history. First of all,
keep your head under his fucking head.
I gotta pull my notes up. First of all, I am the first coach. I would say first coach, not an only coach, to go 0-9.
They were 0-13.
Oh, I'm sorry, 0-13 in our first season. Sorry, I gotta look at my Kotite.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about year one. My bad.
Year one.
0-9. Gotcha.
Yeah. Can we go point by point? Because I think that would be better than me just doing a full barrage to you.
Sure. Rich Kotite. I'm the worst head coach in New York Jets NFL history because I went 3-13, and I followed up 3-13 with 1-15. Bitch, you don't got that on your resume, buddy.
All I know is that I was seeing ghosts all over the field.
My quarterback was. So, here's one rumor I'll give you. So, Keyshawn Johnson, my former number 1 overall wide receiver in the draft, so I drafted him, and he saw me at practice sometimes, actually on my phone smoking cigars when I was supposed to be running practice. But what am I supposed to do? Coach the team?
Well, at least you had the common sense to resign. I got fired because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
You should be selling Frank Gore. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I should be selling Frank Gore.
Actually, I would agree that Adam Gase is the worst head coach in the Jets history, so we will move on.
Jonathan says Gase.
Yeah, it's got to be Gase. So, even though Rich Kotite went 3-13 and then 1-15, Gase also ran Frank Gore like he was sweetness himself.
I thought you were going to work in good old Kotite's quote, which is, I don't have all the answers.
All right. So a little silly. We know that. It was meant to be silly, though. So if you don't like it, so sorry. We are going to conclude, and if we have other topics in the chat, we will hit those up. We're not going anywhere afterwards. My last thing that I would like to talk about is your Championship Sunday discussion. So what did you think of the Chiefs versus Bills game? What did you think of the Buccaneers versus the Packers? We know it's a Jets channel, and it always will be a Jets channel, but there's really not that many things that we can discuss other than offseason and Deshaun Watson. So we are opening it up to what's happening in the NFL.
Yeah, I would say if you wouldn't mind, let's start with the Bills-Chiefs game.
Go ahead and rattle it off while I get another beer. Truly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on my second. I want to note the Bills and their efforts. First of all, I want to say, excuse me, John and his Jet family, as well as my own, have somewhat left me on my own island with this. But I respect the Bills organization. I think that they should be proud of what they did this season. And some of you out there, including myself, would say, well, you had a broken wing Belichick out there, and you had COVID on top of that, and
you sound so damn. You know what?
I'm just speaking truth. But
go ahead, finish your point.
Who's to say that the Bills actually saw a real AFC East? Not that the Jets are going to be any different.
It was a mediocre division. The
Dolphins
were good.
Dolphins were good. But I do think that the Bills fans out there should be proud. And, there's two other teams that I put in the same trajectory as the Jets when it comes to, what the fandom has had to endure for many years. And that's the Redskins or the Washington Football Club and the Bills. All three of those teams have a very similar story. Not the same.
Browns too.
Oh, Browns
made
too.
the playoffs for a
sure.
long time.
But just because it's closer to home with those other teams,
So you're saying you're glad for the Buffalo Bills fans?
I'm just gonna start. I mean, it had to be a sad moment, obviously getting kicked out in the AFC Championship. But I thought Josh Allen had a great game. I wasn't upset with his game, not his best. I really would say, where the defense didn't show up. That defense has been monster all season for that team.
They may have showed up, but they got hammerhead sharked by fucking Patrick Mahomes.
You're dealing with the most since the greatest show on turf, I would say.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you would agree with that. That's a bold statement.
Absolutely. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, any running back that they have in their system seems to do pretty good, and Patrick Mahomes, man, that is fucking top notch.
Yep.
What do we got in the chat before we continue our discussion?
CPS617NYGA says little gas, mostly breaks. And Jonathan chimed in. I hate seeing Brady going to another Super Bowl.
Dude, I hate seeing Brady go to a Super Bowl. I like how some people, some Jets fans are actually out there saying what a nice guy he was. He said hi to his son and the crowd after the game. No.
Well, he hugged Drew Brees. He threw a pass to Drew Brees' son.
Yeah, he did that too. Fuck him. Who cares? Brady said hello to his son after the game, and everybody was like, "Oh, what a nice guy!" Blah blah blah. What do you think, Jets fans? Do you like him now? I'm like, no, nothing has changed. I still hate his guts. Hate him.
Jonathan 122469 says, "I'm a big Mahomes fan. Go Chiefs."
I definitely am rooting for Mahomes because I do not want to see Brady win a Super Bowl. We have another comment.
We have a new commenter. That's a word.
What's the name of the commenter?
I don't want to butcher it.
Oh my. We'll say Estuke. I
like that.
Well, what's the first letter and last letter? GI?
GI.
All right, we'll call you GI. We cannot pronounce your name. We apologize. What did he say?
His comment is, do you guys think that if JD tries to trade for Watson, Joe Douglas, and the deal doesn't go through, Sam's trade stock will fall? That's a great question. So, again,
repeat the question.
If Joe Douglas does not trade for Watson.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if Joe Douglas tries to trade for Watson and the deal doesn't go through, does Sam's trade stock fall?
Fantastic question. Well done, GI. So I'm actually going to say that I don't think that it would. I think the NFL knows that there is a very good chance that they trade Sam Darnold. I don't think that his stock is ever really going to go down or up this offseason, no matter what we do. I do think that the Jets are going to try to work a deal and have a deal in place before March 17th, March 17th, which is the beginning of the new league year and which is when free agency begins and when trades can become official. I think he's going to have a deal in place by then, especially if they already have decided to move on from him. So no, I don't think his draft stock will go, his trade value will go down. I think we're safe in that department. I actually don't think his trade value is very high. I think right now, for the best case scenario, I think a lot of people are saying a second round pick and a mid round pick. I do not see that. I'm smelling a third round pick at best by itself.
No, I disagree. I think it's a second round pick.
No freaking chance.
I think everyone realizes he hadn't had a fair shot.
He didn't have a fair shot. He was the worst quarterback in the league last year.
I understand that. Stat-wise does not support him, but...
That right there dropped his stock. That's what lowered his stock. Playing poorly last season.
But with a talent pool that I just said, and you admitted to, that was worse than the 95 Kotite team.
I think both teams were very, very bad.
I think this year's team is worse.
I think it may have been. But I still...
So, I don't mean to butcher the same thing everyone else uses out there, which is the Manning interception record of his rookie season. And I know Sam's not a rookie anymore. He doesn't get that pass.
He is certainly not.
But he's had a rookie team for every year that he's been with the Jets.
Yeah. Read the next comment.
CPS 617NYJ says a fifth rounder and an everything bagel. I'm assuming for Sam Darnold.
Listen, man, I actually agree with you. Listen, you're
fifth rounder.
Listen, you're a funny guy, and I think you're being a little bit sarcastic. I don't think the fifth rounder is completely ridiculous. I think his trade value is extremely. I think it's going to be it's going to be a surprise for people this offseason when they see what he's dealt for. I do not think it's going to be... I don't think a second-round pick's involved. Maybe I'm being a little bit critical. I do not think they get a second-round pick for Sam Darnold. I think that's a pipe dream. I'd say best-case scenario, third-round pick, and I truly, truly mean that. I don't think they get good return for Sam Darnold.
There's teams out there that need a quarterback.
They may not want him.
And there's a lot of teams that want a quality backup quarterback, especially with the injuries and COVID and everything else going on right now.
Yeah.
I think he holds a low second round pick at best, probably hovering around third round pick.
I think that's best case. That's what I feel like is going to happen. And I think the fifth round pick comment, I don't think he's being entirely serious because he says the everything bagel. But I really could smell a pick something much lower than what we expect coming up. Like if Joe Douglas decides to trade him, we may get shit back. We may get nothing.
I think if you're gonna put Sam on the block, let me just say this: if you're gonna put Sam on the block, the best thing you can do is put him on the block with a draft pick. That's where you're gonna get the most.
We've already drafted a quarterback. What do you mean?
Or regardless of whether you've already identified a quarterback, drafted a quarterback, or know who you're going to be pursuing, I think that if you're really going to maximize him as an investment or a potential, if you want to call it profit margin, is to tag him with another talent or with a draft pick, and that's how you're going to get the most out of him. GI says, and again, thank you.
Yes, GI, thank you so much. I don't think I've seen you in our comments section. If you haven't subscribed, GI, please do. We really enjoy interacting with our viewers, so really appreciate it. Go ahead.
Oh, man. GI, love you, man. I'm a big fan of the channel and see a ton of potential. Keep it up, guys. Dude.
Glasses raised to you, GI. Thank you so much, dude.
It was a long day at work today. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
that's probably the best part of my day. Absolutely is the best part of my day. So,
much appreciated,
cheers
GI.
to you.
Thank you very much.
Hope
We're very excited. We really are having fun doing this. This is a lot of fun. Okay, so
we talked about the Bills Chiefs. Let's move over to the GOAT.
Before we get to Brady, I want to talk about this decision. So for people who are watching right now, and I think everybody probably watched it, the Green Bay Packers decision at the end of the game.
Ooh.
You're
going right to it.
If you're in the chat, I want to hear what you think of this call, and I'm pretty sure we all can agree.
Jonathan agrees with me. Package Sam and our 34th pick and trade back up for the first round.
That's not a horrible idea. It would just.
I think that's a great.
Actually,
that's a very.
frig, man,
That's an astute opinion.
So listen, if his value is poor, like I think it is, I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation.
Can you imagine that?
To package it.
The 23rd.
No. He's saying just the second round.
No, what I'm saying is if you did that, you'd have the second overall pick, the 23rd overall pick.
Yeah.
And
assuming we haven't traded for Deshaun.
It's something up there.
That'd be 3 first-round picks.
And let's say you go after Dak with that.
Right.
Dude, I gotta touch him. I don't mean to peek the mic. Hopefully it wasn't peeking.
30.
But I gotta touch him. Wait, I'm getting excited now, so I gotta get myself ready here.
Dak Prescott.
Well, say that. That's my cherry on top.
All right, go ahead.
Going into the draft. You go after Penei Sewell and or Najee Harris.
Okay. Not at 2, though. You wouldn't draft Najee at 2.
No, but let's say you get Penei.
Okay, Penei.
You get, on the 23rd, I don't know. You can
toss
another person in.
23, I like Wyatt Davis, guard.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
He's available. He'll be around.
So then your line's set. Oh, you're done. You're good for 6 years.
I would take Penei and then Wyatt, but yes.
Well, let's just say you did. Let's say we're feeling frisky.
Go ahead.
Right? So you secure that up, and then you put Dak on top of that. How crazy of a turnaround would that be to have an offense that was completely broken on the front line to secure for the next foreseeable future and a top 10 quarterback behind it?
I'm pretty sure. So if you're watching the video right now, there's almost a guarantee I will be putting out a video on the option of if Dak Prescott becomes available.
I'm excited.
What options that opens, because it opens quite a few. We're not drafting a quarterback at 2.
And we have
all of our draft picks and we have all of our cap space. Well, we wouldn't have all of our cap space. To be fair, we would be paying roughly 30 to 38 million, somewhere in that range, I think, for Dak.
Oh yeah, you gotta pay to play though.
Yep, you gotta pay to play.
But if we're all serious, if the front office of the Jets is serious, if Robert Saleh is serious, if the players are serious, and if the NYJ community is serious, what better way to show results and to show progress than that? Now, I'm not going to take that away from the Deshaun. If the Deshaun Watson window opens, obviously John's video's out there, my video's out there. You all have your opinions. I'd love to hear them. Excuse me. But if that window opens, you can't pass that by. And that changes the timeline completely.
It does change a lot of things, yes.
But if that doesn't happen, because I still think if you saw my video, you would see this. I don't think that's as much of a reality as what the news outlets are saying. Dak Prescott is worthy of an analysis by all of us, and I can't wait to see your video.
I am going to make a video. I'm actually thinking about it right now, and it's just getting me really excited to think that could be an option that they pursue, because it does free them up. It frees them up to make their draft picks, and it frees them up to not have to trade for anybody.
100%. So. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
And I got to, again, Jonathan, 122469 calling out top free agents. I didn't really think about it like that. I didn't really think about it.
No. Dak Prescott does. I mean, I knew about it. I had heard about it, but I think having our podcast tonight helped a lot to kind of air out the idea and flesh it out, and it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
There's really only one other thing I want to talk about. It's just the Championship Sunday thing. So it was the Packers game, and the decision that Matt LaFleur, older brother to Mike LaFleur, our offensive coordinator, they are down 8 points. There's just over 2 minutes left in the game, and they kick a field goal, and they kicked it off. They didn't even onside it.
No.
They kicked the ball.
They're like, we're going to stop you.
We'll see you next week. I don't understand what brain fart or what ball squeeze he must have had to make that decision. What was he thinking?
You either would say he's got big-ass balls.
Balls.
Or he's got no balls.
Again, everybody's talked about this. Down 8, just over 2 minutes. You still had all your timeouts, but whatever.
Right.
Your fucking quarterback's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, not Mitchell Trubisky, not Rex Grossman, not Mark Sanchez.
Is it? Well, pause. Isn't it crazy that Rex Grossman was in a Super Bowl?
He was in a Super Bowl.
Let's just pause there.
But listen, Mark Sanchez could have been in a Super Bowl, and it would have been just about the same thing.
I think it's actually crazier to have Rex.
Yeah, it would have been. Rex is pretty
pause,
crazy.
and I want you all to think about it. That's your Wednesday. That's your hump day reflection. Topic of reflection is that Rex Grossman was in a Super Bowl.
He was in the Super Bowl. Yep. I remember when he was drafted out of Florida. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only really takeaway I have was that game just absolutely mind-numbing that they decided to kick a field goal down 8 with just a little bit over 2 minutes left. I couldn't believe it. It was stunning, and I'm still kind of like crazy. Like I can't figure out why he did that.
Well, imagine when Aaron heard the call. What do you think he thought?
Oh, well, so did you watch the post game of him?
I did not.
If you're in here, please smack the like button. We are only at 4 likes. We would love a few likes here. So please, if you're in here still and you haven't liked it, hit the like button. We would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, so Aaron Rodgers after the game was like super quiet and was basically just like, yeah, that's a decision he made. we could talk about it.
And Aaron's like a fucking elephant.
Like that. It's our channel. You don't like your own shit.
Oh, I was just trying to spark it.
Don't spark it. Leave it alone.
There it is.
Don't unlike it. Don't be dirty.
Now it's back to where it was.
All right. So,
but you know how Aaron is.
Yes.
He's like a fucking elephant. He doesn't forget anything. So he's never gonna forget that, and he's gonna be so salty.
There are some people that think that
he
wants out.
You ever think if you were to sit down with Aaron, if you guys saw Aaron in public, he'd just be that kind of like mopey guy.
Yes.
You know, like I feel bad for the guy.
I want to pull up the post-game interview. Why don't you talk for a second about just something? I don't care. I gotta pull it up. I gotta have it on. I want to have this on the podcast.
So I mean, focusing on the Tampa Bay Packers game, I would say I gotta go back to Tom, and he hates when I do this because, you know, again, just as I got hated on by my own father, my own flesh and blood, the green blood. He said, "Why the hell are you feeling bad for the Bills?"
Seriously, that is the truth. That is lame as shit to feel bad for them. Go ahead, Dom.
He said, "Why the hell are you feeling bad for the Bills?" I said, "Dad, that's coming from a guy who cried during the 2009 Jets summer or season DVD or whatever it was." So that's what I told him. But I do respect Tom Brady. I would say he's caused a lot of torment, a lot of torture in my life.
This is his 10th Super Bowl, I think, or something insane.
He
like
set an
that.
NFC record in his first year in the NFC. The guy will go down. We all have to prepare for this.
No, he's the greatest.
I want you all to hear this.
He's the greatest quarterback of all time. We know. Nobody disputes that. It's
Manning's not even in the fucking conversation anymore.
It's not like it's like the conversation about saying like there's another receiver that's better than Jerry Rice. No, there's not. There's nobody better than Jerry Rice. There's nobody better than Tom Brady. And I don't know if
the conversation on Jerry Rice is as distant of a separation between him and the competition as Tom is, though. So I do disagree with you. I think that the distance between Tom and the next quarterback...
I'm not saying it's equal distance. My point is you don't argue it because Jerry Rice has the stats.
But you know people would argue you. They would say Lynn Swann, or they would say...
Lynn Swann, get the fuck out of here. All right, I'm going to hit play on this because I think it's interesting.
You see this abuse?
All right, be quiet for a second because I want to see what it does.
A lot of guys' futures...
You gotta hold it next to the mic.
It's perfect.
Uncertain. Myself included.
Rodgers elaborated when asked in a post-game press contract through 2023. Rodgers' comments are his long-term future. Brian, seems like the Pack have a problem. Us to Tampa.
Sorry, terrible content. Terrible content.
Guys, hell yeah.
What exactly?
Sorry, awful idea by me. I was thinking that was going to be a press conference, but he was just so quiet in the post-game conference and just terrible. Just a terrible decision. What else?
Well, let me get back to it. I'm talking about Tom.
All right, go ahead.
So, again,
this is fantastic.
Respect Tom. He played great. He had a couple wild passes. But really what won that game for Tampa Bay was the defense. That defense has been hot and cold for the entire season. But their cold is not as bad as the Jets' cold.
Last comment?
No, it's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was one after yours.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No. But that Tampa Bay defense has been hot and cold. They showed up and they kicked ass, and Tom did exactly what he always does, which is he's the Iceman. You can't rattle that guy.
He made really good throws in that game.
And to me, and I think this is something that not only does he take away for himself, but also, what we all see is him comparing himself to Belichick, is that any games that he lost, those teams that won, it's a miracle because that man remains steadfast in how he plans, how he plays the entire season, and love him, hate him. I
hate him.
He'll have a bus in Canton, and he deserves every square feet of it, or every square
inch.
foot.
Yeah, I got you. So listen, he's not wrong about anything he just said. He is the greatest quarterback of all time. I still hate his guts, and it doesn't matter. Before we go, we're gonna give one last shout out to you guys. Thank you. Comment has been the comments has been great
Absolutely.
tonight. We have some activity. Big shout out to everybody that's been in the chat. If you're new to the channel, like the video and then subscribe to the channel, please. We plan to do this every single Wednesday. Throw a couple beers back, talk football with you guys, Jets football, and we couldn't be happier. We're having a good time with this. If anybody wants to throw one more topic out there before we go, we will hit one more topic. Otherwise, we are going to wrap this show up because it's been a solid hour, and that's about what we're going to do. An hour for right now is our number here. So, any last quick comments, and then we will head out.
There's about a 20-second delay.
No, it's all good. So, what's the?
So while we wait for final comments,
Yeah.
constructive criticism on my video. Let me have it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All of the videos on our channel, which there's about 10 or so, there's only
all
one.
of them are good except for one.
No, there's only one video that has a dislike button.
Oh, mine has a dislike? Great.
You're the only one with a dislike.
Hey, I'm here to give you a different perspective. I had the shit end of that argument, by the way. Okay? Now, I chose that.
Cheers to you.
But it was a rough argument. Jonathan, 122469, great show, guys.
Jonathan, we appreciate you,
You
bro.
the man.
Check in next Wednesday.
GI, you the man. CPS 617NYJ, you the man.
Thank you guys so much. We had a blast. It really does not take a lot as far as like interaction. We just want to talk with the fans that are out there that are listening, and it's nothing but fun. So this is NYJ today. We are signing out. John, Mike, we will see you guys next Wednesday for episode 3 of the podcast. Cheers to Jets fans. Jets. Jets. Let's go. I just spilled beer everywhere. It doesn't matter though, baby. Let's go.
Peace, guys.
Peace, guys. Have a good night.